Well, here we are, still in 1702. You've seen the sea battle, you've seen us defeat the galleon. That's the galleon going down now. Well, as you know, we've recently taken French Guiana, we've wiped out the pirates. Well, we're about to wipe out the pirates, I should say. We've had one battle with them already. Once those pirates have gone on there, and I'm pretty sure I'll just auto-resolve that one. Here we go. Yeah, there go the pirates. One of those tells me that I've won the battle, the other one tells me that a nation is wiped out. Sometimes if it's a bit of a long clip, I'll speed it up. You might get a bit of a squeaky voice every now and again because of that. Not my voice, but the voices in the game, just to avoid having to look at things that are obvious anyway. So basically a nation wiped out. That means my trade's improved as well. Because he won't be robbing me or raiding my trade routes. Need to put the buildings back in order there, so that there isn't too much resistance to foreign occupation. I'm going to consolidate these troops as well. Another little tip here is any troops you're going to leave behind simply on what's the word? A watchman type duty, a garrison type duty. It's worth sometimes just not replenishing those troops at all and just leaving them as a small unit. I've often had as many as 5, or as little as 5 I should say, men in a unit that's looking after a port, because they're only there really to stop an army being landed immediately by a fleet and then being able to attack your capital. So the least number of men that you've got in your unit there, the better, because it means that you're not paying quite so much for them out of your economy there. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm reducing the taxes down to nothing. If you look carefully at what these islands can produce, it's a very, very small amount anyway. There's another little tip for you there. What I do is I take the infantry out and just step them outside the fortress, rather than moving them anywhere, because once you move them you can't get them back again. They've moved too far away. So just stepping them out will tell you what state the town is in after they've left. Okay. I've already said I've taken French Guiana. I've now got rid of the pirates. There are 1 or 2 more lucrative targets in this particular theatre. You can see the French there, but they're not really that much of a threat to me, the French here. And like I said, there's not much of an income, but there are more lucrative targets. Guatemala, for instance, and Mexico are, in the beginning parts of the campaign, owned by New Spain. I struggled to get to New Spain before I've rid the world of pirates, I'm afraid, so they tend to have turned to Spain by the time I get there. But you never know. Looking round now, that was Guatemala I just looked at there. I'm now going up towards Mexico. Here we go, just deciding on which is the best target for me. Cuba is a fairly decent sized island that produces some pretty decent goods as well. Cuba might be the one sometimes to go for, because the British are trying to colonise the Americas, and Cuba's one of those that they'll go for, so it's a good idea to get it before they do. One of the objectives is to take New York. It's too far for me to go, to send ships all the way up there to New York and deprive myself of the possibility of capturing any ships in the meantime. By my own kind of piracy. It's just going to cost me too much, and I'm still paying for the troops while they're at sea as well, and to send them so far away up to New York just seems to me to be quite an expensive ordeal. So I'm having to go to war here in order to attack. It looks like Guatemala's going to be the target there. That's why I'm going for the port again, so I can land and then move from there. It's going to be 2 moves to get my ships to dock with that army on board. It's not a big army. I've no idea what size army the Spanish or the New Spanish are going to have. But again, that's not too much of a problem for me. If I get my army wiped out, I'm not too worried about that. It means that I won't be paying out quite so much, and it's better than abandoning troops. You might think, well, hang on, they've done everything they need to do now, they've got rid of the pirates, let's just abandon them. Well, what I'm doing is investing a little bit and thinking, well, I'll keep you for a couple of turns. I know it's going to cost me money to keep you, but I'm going to keep you for a couple of turns and see if you can take something that's going to be worth something to me. It's a speculative gesture, really, I suppose. Okay, as ever, looking into Europe just to see how things are defended, see where my enemies are, work out you know, sort of how many ships I can afford to build.
Aye, aye.
Again, it's another close call as to what you do with this navy when it starts to get big enough. Do you then send it off somewhere, swanning around to go and capture other ships, or go in seek of treasure? But they're not particularly big ships, these, and the French are producing 5th rates and 6th rates, you know, where really I've only just started with the 5th and 6th rates, and I've got a lot of brigs in there, so it's not a powerful navy, you know. I'm also still researching the technology, which is a 5% increase in my fire rate, which will help with my naval battles. If any targets come up though, you can be sure I'm going to go for them. Just checking the ministers again, see if there's any on zeros there. If there are some on zeros, I'll kick them, see if I can replace them with somebody better. Nobody on this occasion. Just checking on my gentleman, making sure he's still stealing research. Now, another dilemma here. How many men do you leave in your capital? It's got a fortress around it, it's got Phylacom citizenry to help defend it as well. Citizenry, I should say. But Flanders is quite exposed. I'd like to be able to spare some men to occupy that other port as well. The new port there that we've got in Flanders. Again, because somebody could land an army there and then immediately attack. And also because ships can just sail in and damage your port. Okay, recruiting some more. It's tricky to know where to go in Europe. If you attack Paris, it's full of Phylacom citizenry and a fortress. You lose a lot of troops doing that, and it's very, very hard to sustain the place. You end up with rebellion after rebellion after rebellion after rebellion in there, and it costs you a fortune just to try and hold on to Paris. So really you need to have a very, very big army, and it's a good idea to have some dragoons around as well that you can put in to suppress any rebellions. At the moment I haven't even got the technology for dragoons. I'm nowhere near that yet at all, so all I can do is hold on to these territories here. There you go, you see, and that port there, you can see he's producing some better ships there. He's got, what, 2 or 3 in there, 1 in the other as well. What's he got in there? I'll take a look in a minute. Well, it should be anyway. Oh, maybe I can just see it from the markers on the top there, but it'd be nice to get those ships out of there and attack them while I've got the opportunity. The thing is, I need to put an infantry unit into that port. If I can do that, it'll chase his ships out, but he's got infantry in there as well. That's what's preventing me doing that. I'd love him to put that infantry on those ships, and then I could take him out. But he's not going to go for it, I'm afraid. Okay, end of the video. See you on the next one.